What's up, everybody? Welcome to part 2 of the guide on Kefla. Now, in this video, I will be going over the custom build I have for her. I'll be showing you the tech that I know with her. I'll go over why I chose these particular skills, giving you an idea of what you can do with her custom variation, because this custom variation is one of the best for any cast character in the game when it comes to the DLCs. It just really improves this character greatly and gives her access to things that she normally doesn't have, such as animation cancels, and just the ability to extend combos without having to go directly into a super attack. I mean, without having to go, without having to, just go into this and then super attack. You can do stuff involving this skill in particular, but I'll get into that in a bit. But first, for those who did not watch the part 1, the guide on her base variation, please go back and watch that first, because I will not be going back over what I showcased in that video. So without further ado, I will be showing you these skills first. Now, the skills that I chose for her were Blaster Cannon, Eagle Kick, Crush Cannon, and Double Crush. Oh, but first, before I get into that, the build I chose for her, she has Speed Type B, and she has Caulifla's Super Soul. It's just you and me now. Now, this Super Soul increases all of your base abilities by a large percentage. And, well, it kind of just speaks for itself. The only downside is that it makes you not be able to unlock from your opponent. You see that crosshair that appears on them? Until that goes away, you can't unlock. Hear this? You see that? You see that symbol that's appearing? Yeah, that means I can't lock off. It's the same thing that Pan's buff skill does, Prepare to be Punished, although it's just a far superior version of that buff, and it lasts for a decent amount of time, actually. But it actually makes her one of the fastest casts in the game. I mean, look at this. With Speed Type B and this Super Soul activated, it's honestly kind of hard to control her because of how fast she is. But that's what I have for her stats and stuff. Now, Blaster Cannon. Why I chose this skill instead of something like a Key Blast Cannon or a Shine Shot or something like that. I chose this skill because, one, it fits the whole character, because Kefla is a combination of Kale and Caulifla, and, well, everybody knows Kale is basically a female Broly, so all of her blasts are green. But it's not just that, it's also because it's a fantastic combo starter. And a very good combo ender as well, because of that teleport it has. Now, and I'll get into why this is especially good whenever I get into this skill. But for now, that is Blaster Cannon, and it's just very easy to combo into up close. When you catch them in the middle of a standing combo like that, you can just maximize the damage to its fullest. And if I wanted to, I can actually add another tick of damage by going into this. Bam. 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 Very simple, very optimal, very effective. And look at the damage it does, too, man. Like, good grief. But enough of that. Now we got Eagle Kick. Now, I chose this skill for 2 reasons. One, because it solves one of her main problems, and that is not being able to counter. She has access to no good counter skills. She has no after image, she has no after image strike, she has no instant transmission, no pressure sign, no Godbreaker, no super after image. She is a sitting duck. So the best thing you can put on her as a substitute for a counter skill is this move, because Eagle Kick is a DP. And for those of you who are not familiar with fighting game lingo, a DP is essentially an uppercutting attack that has iframes on startup. It is in reference to the fact that the Shoryuken, the famous move, the Rising Dragon and Punch, that's what it, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it translates to. It translates to Rising Dragon Punch. It's called a DP in the fighting game community. And that attack is famous for always having iframes on startup, which means if your opponent knocks you down or something like that, and then they're trying to pressure you or meaty you can just throw that crap out. An iframe through their strike and hit them. It's called a wake up uppercut. Wake up DP. But what that means, what that entails, is that, let me put him on super strong real quick. Let me just get him to punch me a couple times. You see that? You see those iframes it has? Eats right through a back hit, eats right through punches, and Goku's notorious for having a crap ton of priority. Especially on that elbow strike. Look at that. It even iframes through the infamous Goku elbow strike. So if your opponent's trying to be a douchebag and, you know, like just constantly all the time rush in with their elbow strike, feint it, you know, all the usual stuff that a lot of try-hard players like to do with characters like Goku and Bardock. Now, it doesn't really work on Hit that well because Hit's just a broken-ass character that has the fastest dashing light in the game. But on the majority of the cast, this will just completely shut down that strategy. And it's something that normally Kefla cannot fight against. She is a sitting duck against people who play like that. But look at that. It'll even iframe straight through a grab. So it's just a fantastic move. Now, this skill does have a bit of a negative reputation. And that is because of this. If you are at the top of the map... Now, it used to be worse than this, but it still works the way it used to. But you can loop this at the top of the map. At the very top, at the ceiling. And that just, it's inconsistent, but it used to be completely inescapable. And even then, if you're at a certain point, it is an inescapable combo. That just does so much damage, and it is completely unvanishable. You have to evasive this. But it has a bad reputation because cheesers would do this to people a lot. And at one point, before it got patched, you could do this anywhere on the map. So this move, it's been stigmatized. A lot of people call it cheesy, even though it got nerfed. But it's honestly not. In the right hands, when it's used as like a counter strike or just a combo extender every once in a while, like this, it's just a solid, very well-rounded skill that has a versatile way of using it. But the main way I use it is to counter a lot of these people who like to do this constant. People who like to dash light constantly. I use that to counter those people. Now, let's get into the best skill in this lineup, and that is Crush Cannon. Now, for those who saw my guide on Caulifla, I will link that in the description below, along with part 1 of the video, for those who have not seen part 1. But in that video, for those who remember, or those who have just seen me play Caulifla, you know that this is an instant way to cancel out of combos. This is a fantastic cancel. Yes, it does cost 1 bar of ki, but look at how fast I can do this. It's ridiculous how fast you can cancel this. And every single time you cancel it, you are building that potential one every single time. And it only takes you doing it 18 times. for it to build up the full power of the move. And if you're like me, and you master this mechanic, if you master this gimmick, and implement it into all your combos, you're eventually just going to end up building the power of this move up to its fullest capabilities, and that is going to set up a potential one-shot, and that's going to make your opponent a lot more scared. It's going to make them a lot less likely to vanish a combo, but it's also going to make them it allows you to get into their head. It allows you to get into your opponent's head. Are you going to just do this and throw it out, or are you going to do this cancel it just in case they try to evasive or something like that? It sets up mind games. And the limit burst for this Super Soul here is an attack up, so obviously that makes it 100 times more potent. And this will just straight up one-shot almost any character in the game whenever I have this active. Like so. Goku doesn't really have that much HP, but even if I do this to like Omega Shenron with the health type, he will get one shot by this if I have that Super Soul activated and the Limit Burst activated. But the main thing I use it for is the fact that it gives you access to new combo routes. But also because it's just better than a key cancel. And in Kefla's base variation, the only way she can really move because of how stiff she is by key canceling. However, with Crush Cannon, watch this. Look how fast I can turn around. Whereas I have to dash immediately. I have to dash in order to freaking key cancel. But with Crush Cannon, I can just immediately turn around a lot faster than a key cancel can. And that allows me to stop you from flanking me over and over and over again, which is a problem that she would normally have. But it also just allows you to maximize the damage because you can loop this combo here. You can even just loop. You can even loop just one heavy. And like I said, you're building up the damage of this move every time you cancel it. So doing a combo like this is very beneficial. Though you gotta time it correctly. It's hard. It's hard. You gotta... It's better if you want to do in the loop the single hit. It's better to do it after you hit at least 2 of her heaviest first, because it actually builds up stun. It's weird how this combo works, and honestly I am really scared that in this next patch they're possibly going to hurt this move, because I have seen many people, many noobs in particular, complaining that this skill is too overpowered, and I'm just like, dude, yes, it has the potential to one-shot you, but good grief, can you look at the utility it possesses? Ugh. Do not nerf this skill. It's one of the only skills in the game that functions this way. Do not take this one feature away. But I am deathly afraid that they're going to touch this skill in this next patch, and it's likely going to hurt it. So I really hope that's not going to happen. But this is what she's able to do until that patch comes out, for those who haven't already gotten it across the seas. Now, the other skill that I have for her is Double Crush, and this skill is actually something that Kefla should have had when she came out, but they decided to give it to Caulifla because they just cannot stand not putting a charge skill on a DLC character. I personally have never cared for the charge skills because you're never going to be able to get them off in a match. Seriously. in Xenoverse 3, if it becomes a thing, the charge skill needs to be done away with ASAP. It needs to be done away with. It needs to go back to the way it was in games like Raging Blast 2, where you can charge your ki by like flicking your stick down or something and holding it. And that would be perfectly doable, because the right stick, it doesn't control anything. That's the perfect way to charge ki, is to hold it down or something like that. But enough of that. Double Crush, I use it because of the fact that it can stay there. You saw that. It stays there forever. In fact, it will not go away unless you hit me. This will stay there and be a looming threat as long as you don't touch me, which creates pressure. It allows you to get in your opponent's head, and this thing can actually be pretty troublesome to dodge properly online. So more often than not, whenever you throw this out, you're going to do it after hitting them away, of course. You can either set it up and have it linger there, or you can hold it down like this. And this also creates pressure, because if your opponent knows that, if your opponent thinks that you're going to let it linger, they're going to be more aggressive. But if they see that it's coming at them immediately as they recover, they're going to be a lot less aggressive, and likely they're just going to stand there and try and guard it. But because she has this, as I mentioned in the part 1 of the guide, instant flanking tool, which sets up stuff like this and allows you to just really punish your opponent for not defending against it properly. Very easy to set up. You set it up like this. If your opponent vanishes right here, you can toss it out. If you toss it, even if you're hit while you're tossing it, these blasts will not go away. The blasts will only go away if you're hit while they're lingering like this, while they're stationary. But this skill is just a very good mix-up skill. It's a very good way to create pressure and just get in your opponent's head. Now, the ultimate skills I have for her, Crush Stream is my first one, and that's because this is probably one of the best 3-bar skills in the game. It's just fantastic. It links from everything, basically. The only thing it will not link from is this. The only thing it's not going to link from is a burst dash. Although, if I'm not mistaken, an auto reverse burst dash will link it. Nope, actually no. A burst dash is the only way that this doesn't link. But every single one of her own strings, even this one right here, this one, after that punch, I didn't have ki. And it does a pretty good amount of damage for a 3-bar ult, like, especially one that can confirm this easily. It'll even land after the full square combo. Full power energy wave can't even link this easily. This is a fantastic 3-bar ultimate skill. Honestly. This might, it might honestly be the best, it might be one of the top 5 best 3-bar key ultimate skills in the game, to be honest. It's just that good. And the other thing that's good about it is that it links vanish skills like blaster cannon, so I can do this and add an extra tick of damage, or I can go into a raid blast. And then the other ultimate skill I have for is Gigantic Burst, because it's Kefla and I have to have her own ultimate on one of her slots at least. It's also just a good ultimate attack, like I mentioned in part 1 of the guide. Very good amount of damage, very easy to combo into. Just a good skill. And the evasive I have is Instant Rise, because it's arguably the best evasive in the game. There's just no other evasive that is this easy to use, this useful, and able to be steered like this. It's able to get you out of almost any situation, except for like an Emperor's Death Beam. But if you're skilled, you actually can just perfect block it. What I'll do against an Emperor's Death Beam, for example, if I get out of the... if the Emperor's Death Beam is hitting me and if I Instant Rise out of it, I'll instantly perfect block it. And as it's tracking me, I'll just strafe around it and perfect block it once, until it's gone. It's actually not too hard to do once you've memorized the timing. It's a lot easier to do than trying to do it head-on like this. Because, unlike in Xenoverse 1... the frames for blocking are not nearly as generous in this game. Unless you do this, but I just refuse to do this. Because it's cheap. It's very cheap. But now that that's over, why don't we get into the tech that I know with her? Although first I'll show you an optimal combo involving this custom variation that I have for her. Seriously, if you have not gotten this custom partner key, please do so. She is very worth it. Do something like that. Look at that. Very simple, very optimal, very easy to do. And the damage is well worth it. And also, I did forget to mention, because this is a block cancel, if they're going to limit burst, if you time it correctly and if you predict it, you can actually just straight up perfect block or just guard their limit burst as they do it and punish them for it. For trying to limit burst before your stamina break. And that makes it even, Crush Cannon just even more ridiculous. But as I mentioned, it also gives her the ability to immediately maximize the damage, like that. Because it's a super cancel, she can't immediately basic attack cancel out of her light stamina break, but she can go into a super after doing so. So because it's a super, it allows her to immediately go into basic right after a light stamina break, which is something that she normally cannot do. But also just look how long it takes for their stamina to recover when I'm hitting them with this loop. They're on the ground. This Goku AI is on the ground. And it's taking him forever to get his stamina back. It's just fantastic. And every single time I cancel this, if you're trying to limit burst, like I said, there's a chance I'm going to just predict it and perfect block you immediately. So seriously, people, the one shot is not even close to being the best thing about this. The one shot is just scratching the surface of the potential of this skill holds. Use it. It's a great skill. Even on custom characters, this thing is just fantastic. Especially if you're trying to use Super Saiyan God on like a male Saiyan. You know how a lot of your combos lose their cancel windows? This can rectify that conundrum. On female Saiyan, Super Saiyan God as well, it can also rectify that conundrum for them as well. It's just a very good, versatile move. But now I will actually get into the tech that I know with her. Now, the first tech I know with her is it involves block cancels and unlock back hits. And that is that applies to all of her auto vanish combos. Let's just wait until the Super Soul runs out, because like I mentioned, her Super Soul disables my lock on. After this combo here, you gotta kind of be fast. After that combo, it doesn't really work. Unless you do it really fast, like I did right there, then it will work. Pretty much all of her auto vanishes, except for this combo here. This one you can't do it on. It's just, it launches them at a weird angle and it'll cause it to whiff. Then the other tech that I know with her is this. And I don't know, does this really fall into tech category? I don't know. This is something that you can do. You can do this in a combo. Like so. Ah, hold on. Now, after that, you cannot do it like you can with Caulifla. The way that you set up a double crush in a combo like that. Oh, hold on a sec. I gotta get rid of it first. You can use it to link this. Bam. Pretty cool. And that's just scratching the surface of what you can do with that. Now I will put him on recovery off real quick to simulate that stamina being broken. Now that will not work right there, what I just did. However, you can link a crush cannon right there. I mean a crush stream right there. Be careful about that. Also, oh, I forgot to mention, she has one other loop that you can do with crush cannon. You gotta delay that 5th hit. But this makes that one loop that she used to have that got nerfed possible once more. Because of that animation cancel, it allows you to loop it once again. And this is actually another one of your best combo starters. Because it can also link into the rest of her things if you say do this, for example. Oh, hold on a sec. Now, the other tech that I know with her is this. And this is actually a way that you can combo into her grab as well. Although, there is another way that you can combo into her ground grab. You gotta descend to the ground in order to do this. But watch this. That's one variation you can do. And of course you can add that extra tick of damage with the blaster cannon skill. And the other version is like this. You see that? Very weird. It's how this works is it's basically because of the way that key blasts are counted as a basic attack, the game registers it as if it's actually one of your punches whenever you hit with the key blast. So whenever you do something like this, it tricks the game into thinking that you hit them with one of your basic combos instead of hitting them with a key blast. This is something that also existed in Raging Blast 2 and 1. You cannot do that, unfortunately. It'd be very nice if you could, but you unfortunately cannot do it. Well, you can't do it with the air grab. If you want to descend and get the ground grab off, though, that you are able to do. Like so. However, there's not really anything you can do other than a crush stream after that. Like this. Now, another tech that you can do involving the Crush Cannon Cancel is this here, and this is probably one of the harder ones to do, so just bear with me as I miserably mess up a couple times. It's hard. You gotta perfectly space it in between the ground and the air. Because if you're not at the right distance, you will not be able to continue your melee combo after hitting him with that Raid Blast grab. Let me try it again. And you can't let your feet touch the ground, otherwise it will not register it as the air grab. It'll register it as a ground grab, and you cannot combo into this the same way that you can with her air grab. And if you don't time it right, it can sometimes just straight up miss like that. Bear with me, people. It's kind of difficult. It's hard. There we go. And you can do whatever you want after that. Pretty cool. Pretty dang cool that you're able to do that. Now, the other thing that you can do with this same combo is do this instead. You can set up a jump hit. And because she has a lot of range and speed on her jump hit, it's very easy to do that with her, and there's multiple ways that you can extend this. Oh, hold on. I didn't time it right. The idea is that you want to get in front of them. You wanna do this here. I'll try it again. This isn't easy. This is not easy to do, people. So just bear with me. Ah. It's hard to do. Almost had it right there. There we go. Pretty freaking sick. Now, another method that I know is the other combo that I know is this. For some reason, I don't know what it is exactly, but after that combo, if you hit him with a Ki Blast like this, it causes that to whiff. I don't know what it is, but that's just a little setup that you can do right there. And now the final tech that I know with her, it's this, and this is a very unorthodox key slide. This requires you to eagle kick, and you gotta whiff that first hit. You can't just do it like the normal key slide. There we go. That's one method, and then the other method is this, and this is way more difficult. You gotta do a weird sidestep to get this to land, and it's very inconsistent and hard to do. And you gotta be careful about that because sometimes it'll make you do the feint hit. There we go. And you can do whatever you want after that. But that's basically it for the video, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and share the video, and if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. It would really help a lot in helping my mental state. YouTube actually is it's actually kind of cathartic for me personally, stress relieving. But it's no pressure, you know. If you don't want to just subscribe, that's perfectly fine. And that actually, before I end the video, actually, that right there, I literally just discovered. I didn't even know that was possible. But I guess that's another tech that I literally discovered mid-video. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I will be uploading guides on the new characters whenever I buy the DLC, so just be prepared for that. See you later. Bye-bye.